There are shows with psychics.
And there are shows with doctors.
But there's no show like The Psychic and the Doc.
Your practical paranormal power unleashed.
This show synthesizes the talents of world-class medium Mark Anthony, the psychic lawyer, psychic explorer,
and street smart spiritualist, behavioral psychologist, Dr. Pat Baccili. All subjects are on the table and no topic is taboo. Inspiration, insight,
action, and fun as Mark Anthony connects callers with loved ones in spirit.
In tandem with Dr. Pat's fresh, no-nonsense, street smart, intuitive insights. And she is hilarious.
Extraordinary problems
require extraordinary solutions, which may come from this side
or the other side. This is The Psychic.
Hey everybody, it's Thursday and another episode of The Psychic and the Doc. And this has been a very auspicious week. I mean, today is yesterday was the birthday of Susan B. Anthony, women's rights activist. Then, of course, we lost film icon Raquel Welch, which really, really hit home. But the episode tonight has a theme which is asking all of you to look inward. And the theme is, are you the calm or
are you the storm?
Ooh, I like the way you did that, Dr. Pat. Yeah, that it almost had like a lightning bolt on the end of that. And yeah, it's a good theme because everybody assumes, everything in my life is everyone else's problem, so it's got to be them. And it's like, really? Are you the calm or
are you the storm? Well, you know what? Why we're talking about this tonight for a couple of reasons, and one of them has to do with a phrase that we have in our society. And I agree with you, Mark. I mean, we've lost a couple of people. There's just a couple of things that I think we're watching, right? You mentioned earlier Raquel Welch, and I mean, there are just some people, I think, if people were to think about this generation, they could never imagine, okay, I'm going to go out on a limb. They could never imagine somebody like Taylor Swift or Beyonce not being here. It's kind of like when we lost Prince. There was a generation, and then there was Michael Jackson, and people are still like, right, no, he's not. He's here. And then Whitney Houston. So there are people that when they go, Patrick Swayze was another one. Oh my God. I mean, if you think about Mr. Boseman, who everybody, when he didn't come back as Black Panther, some of us knew what he was going through. But even Olivia Newton-John, when people make that change, we wonder. And you just think people are going to be around forever. And of course, Mariska Hargitay is the daughter of Raquel Welch. And it's just fascinating for us when we think about this calm storm, because what is the expression, which I have to tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't agree with, the calm before the storm. Who came up with that? Was that like a biblical thing? What was that?
I think it's a sailor thing, and I'll tell you why.
Okay, tell me.
Living on the ocean, as I have my whole life, there's an eeriness to when a tropical storm is coming, that all of a sudden everything gets calm. And so, especially when a hurricane's coming and the barometric pressure starts dropping, what we notice is all of a sudden there's no birds anywhere because they feel the changes, all the birds leave. And then you start seeing big crabs coming off the beach and burrowing. And so there's this eerie calm. And then, boy, does that ever end. And then it starts whipping up. And my dad was in the Navy, and he would always teach me, look at the sky, look at the water, do this. And so the calm before the storm, I believe, and if one of the callers knows differently, please call in and enlighten us. But I believe that that's a saying from sailors for centuries.
Yeah. And you know, it's fascinating when we think about it, because we don't think about the calm before. I don't think about the calm before the storm, you know, because I'm so like appreciative of the calm. But whatever you, if you read, oh, did I screw that up? It was Jane Mansfield and not Raquel Welch. Thank you. Thank you, Rocky says, no, that was Jane Mansfield. Okay, I'm living on another planet. Thank you, Rocky. I think I want them all to be related. But one of the things I love about this is when you read about things, for example, when you read, I don't care if you read scripture, the Bhagavad Gita, whatever you read, I don't remember a calm before the storm. I remember the storm and
Yeah.
then something better. And I was listening to, you know, somebody I listen to a lot. And today was a conversation about what happens when your life gets shaken up. And there's this dialogue that if you are going through a shakeup, a suffering, a pain, that on the other side is exponentially something better, like as if you were planned to have to go through that. Now, I am not alluding to that about death. That's not what I'm talking about. But it's fascinating when I think about that. So should it be the storm before the calm?
Well, there's that too. You know, and I know I keep thinking about hurricanes because I've been through like 16 of them.
Yeah, right.
And in the eye of the hurricane, now there's the storm, and then all of a sudden when the eye goes over you, it's so calm. I mean, you go outside and nothing's moving, and I could see how
Scary.
yeah, how people who didn't understand that you were in the middle of the storm. And the last time I was in the eye of a storm, actually, I went to Rocky's house because she lives inland, and we all went swimming in her pool. And it's like, and I remember, somebody said, "What are you doing?" I go, "When's the last time you can say I went swimming during a hurricane?" And then we went out front, and we're looking down the street, and all of a sudden you could see like it's coming right at us. I was like, "Oh my God!" And we ran,
Yeah.
back in the house and
Yeah.
battened down the hatches. So you had the storm, then the calm, and then the storm. And in a way, that may be a metaphor for life too, because you do have the storm, and then things seem like they're calm, but is the calm a real calm or a deceptive calm before something else hits? So, well, we got a lot. We got a lot
of talking about. And this is a live call-in show tonight, and we love doing that for all of you. If you don't know the number, it's 1-800-930-2819. And of course, you will get to have a conversation with either Brett or Jacob or anybody over there who's picking up the phones. It might even be Jessica. It could be, I don't know. But we're ready to take your calls. One of the things I love about this show is that whatever it is, it is.
This is true. Oh, and for the benefit of the callers, when you call in, make sure that you're only on your phone. You're not on a speakerphone.
Right.
Do not have the speakers on your computer or your radio in the background, because what will happen is it'll cause distortion and feedback, particularly when Dr. Pat and I start talking and working with you. And when I'm connecting with spirits, everything that I do is about tuning into frequency. So if I have and barking dogs and screaming and all this in the background, that's not going to work, because we're here to help. So work with us and make sure that your background is the calm, not
storm. That was like a little storm.
That was a little
like
storm.
A baby storm.
Yeah, those are the storms we like, the little ones.
That was like a baby storm.
The baby storm.
I'm gonna tell you, if you knew my mama and my stepmama, oh my goodness, you did not want to get her riled up. You just did not want to get her riled up. That was a whole lot of something coming at you. Remember, everybody, we're taking your calls. Let's kick it up. Brett, who do we have first today?
All right, we have Jerry from South Florida. Hi there, Jerry.
Hi.
Hi, Jerry. How can we help you today?
Hi, Dr. Pat. Hi, Mark. My family is going through a storm now with my granddaughter has been very sick, and we just can't find out what the cause of her illness is. I was wondering if Mark could connect with someone on the other side for me.
Well, we'll give it a shot. Let's see what happens. All right, Jerry, hold on.
Thank you.
I'm getting a male energy coming through. Now, he is connected to you through your male side, your father's side of the family. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a father. It could be an uncle. It could be, a brother.
Okay.
But let me work with him a bit and see if I can get him to give me some more information. Oh, okay. Burning sensation all the way from his throat through his esophagus into his stomach. Wow. Whatever was going, that's your brother. Okay. Yeah.
He had throat cancer.
Okay. Yeah, he definitely was having a very, very difficult time, and he wants you to know that he didn't want to go, but he on one hand, he didn't want to go. On another, he said that when he finally left his body, it was such a relief of peace. Okay. Now your granddaughter, let's see if he can give us some insights with her. This is fascinating. He's talking about her red blood cells. There's something going on with her on a cellular level. And it's interesting because in some things, like I know with diabetes, the membranes of your red blood cells reject insulin, but that doesn't seem to be what this is. This is inside, and it's like she's anemic, but not anemic, but not anemic. So there's something going on with her with protein and with the metabolization of protein. And it looks to me, what he's telling me is let's start with her diet. Let's get her on a completely different eating approach to eating. So my recommendation, and then I'll turn you over to Dr. Pat, based on what your brother's telling me, is you're going to have to get to like a holistic doctor, a nutritionist, to do a whole evaluation to see what to do with her diet. Dr. Pat, what's your take on this?
Before we go, can I just tell you, she was diagnosed with celiac disease. And we did do the elimination diet, and she's on a celiac diet now. Right now, it's she's getting very dizzy, and she's really been out of school for a while now because she gets dizzy spells.
Okay. First of all, let me say we're not medical doctors.
Doctor's right.
So anything we're saying to you, we're going to talk about our own experiences, or in Mark's case, what comes through from a loved one. Can I ask you a question? Where does she live? What part of the country?
She lives in South Florida.
Okay. I'm not a doctor. I'm going to say it a million times, but the minute you came on, there was only one word that came to mind. Lyme. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I will tell you, South Florida, North Florida, South Beach, North Beach, Midwest, Southwest, Africa, Australia. But anybody in the Northeast, did she visit the Northeast at all last summer?
No.
Okay.
No.
Is she, tell me, can you just give me one more little bit more? I'm going to ask you, how long has she been feeling this way?
Quite a while. We had her to a neurologist in 2020, and the neurologist suggested also the elimination diet, and then she was diagnosed with the celiac disease.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think about that? Do you think she's got celiac disease?
Well, apparently they did testing, and that's what the testing showed. But I think that's not what, I don't think that's what she's having trouble with now.
That's my question.
What Mark said about the protein and, let me make sure I got what he said. she's anemic, but she's not anemic. So there's something with that. She also has a blood clotting disorder. Her blood clots too fast.
There you go.
Mm.
There you go. My take, Dr. Pat, that I'm getting from Jerry, that I'm getting from your brother, is that you're on the right path. Like, this is not a quick fix. And I would continue with the diet, but I still would recommend that you consult with a holistic doctor, and one that's very reputable and credible, to see, like, the elimination diet's one thing, but there may be additional foods and things that are necessary, because all too often in Western medicine, the approach is, okay, it's just this, whereas Eastern Asian medicine, it's a cross-disciplinary approach. And I think that that's what's required here. That's the sense that I'm getting. And remember, that when Dr. Pat said she's not a doctor, she is a doctor, but she's a psychologist, not
Yes.
a
I
medical.
understand.
She's a doctor.
Yes.
Well, no, I know, but I know this is the psychic and the doc. And yes, she has a PhD. She is a psychologist. She's world famous. Okay. But we're not medical doctors. I'm a medical intuitive, or rather, spirits give me medical information. But when a spirit presents a medical issue to me, that's it. It's a medical issue. That's why I say it could be this, get it checked. Well, I mean, let's say I get broccoli and I say, oh, broccoli. Now, an inexperienced intuitive would say, make sure she eats broccoli. But maybe what the spirits are trying to tell us is broccoli is going to make her condition worse. And I'm just using that as an example. So that's why when things come to me and I say, this is what I'm getting, does that make sense? It's not, I'm not throwing things out randomly. I'm trying to understand what they're communicating to me from a different dimension. So Jerry, I think you're on the right path.
Yeah, I just have one other thing to say. I'm going to suggest this as a person to a person. You have doctors in Southern Florida that specialize in Lyme disease. I would find a doctor in Southern Florida that gives the full Lyme panel, because you have nothing to lose. It's blood work. You have nothing to lose.
A full Lyme blood
full Lyme panel. It's a full Lyme panel, and you have a number of. I don't know when you say South Florida. I didn't. That's like my family lived in Homestead. That's like
that's real South Florida.
Yeah. Where do you live? Where does she live in Florida? There.
Delray Beach.
Yeah. That's
Delray Beach near Boca.
Okay.
Near Boca Raton.
Okay. If you Google Lyme doctors in Florida, you're going to get a couple of them. There's one in particular, very, very highly rated. And what you're doing is, there's no harm in getting the test. It just costs money. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is I have been an advocate for chronic Lyme disease for, I don't know, like 15 years. And what you describe, I know what celiac looks like. I know what it feels like. I wasn't aware it caused neurological issues. See, that was the trigger for me. That's the thing I glommed onto. And the minute Mark talked about blood, then it just popped up. Okay. Again, we're not doctors, but I'm just saying that's the first thing that came up to me for me, and there's no harm. Got it?
Okay, great. I appreciate your help and also Mark.
But can I just also say one last thing? It doesn't hurt to get second opinions.
Absolutely.
It doesn't hurt to get second opinions. Actually, the second and third opinion is what saved my life personally. So it doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt. Thank you. Thank you for calling in.
Okay. Thank you.
Don't worry. I'm going to do a show tomorrow at 1:30 on the network, Transformation Talk Radio, tomorrow at 1:30 Pacific on Lyme disease. Right here on the network.
Wouldn't she have had to be bitten though by a tick? Wouldn't she have had to have a tick bite?
Yes,
Right,
and it's not only that, right? I mean, I could go into transfusions and the whole business, but yes. And I want to say, you don't always get that bullseye, right? Right. So,
Mhm.
and you have to understand that the size of the tick that bites you, that carries the co-infections, is not the big fat tick. Like, it's not the big fat tick like you pull off your dog.
Yeah.
It's the little teeny one. But anyway, I don't want to alarm you. I'm not sure why that came up for me to tell you. It's just a,
And
it's just a
it's a,
hunch.
you're right, and like Dr. Pat
It's a
said, it's a
hunch.
possibility. So
Yeah.
thank you, Jerry,
Yeah,
for
thank
calling
you.
in, and God bless you. And
Yeah,
Thank
thank
let you
you.
know you're on the right
You're
track.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you.
You're a
Great.
good, you're a
great.
good
Thank
grandmother.
you so much.
Man, yeah, I wish you were my grandma. Brett,
Hello, next caller. We have Marie from Florida. Hi there, Marie.
hi Marie, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dr. Pat, and hi, Mark. It's Marie. I called in 6 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
I just wanted to validate something. You guys
Okay.
helped me out a lot, and thank
All
you
right.
so much. All right, you had spoken to me about, you said there was a female spirit coming through, and you said you see lots of greens, and you said it may be possibly somebody that you work with. And yes, you are right on, because afterwards, my first boss, she used to tell me to eat everything green because it was good, every green vegetables and stuff, because it was good for me. And she worked with me. And she's the one that mentioned that, I need to take it easy with the panic, attacks, and which I've been doing. I've been working on that. And so I just want to tell you, you were, everybody that's listening here that heard the show, the other one I was on, you were definitely, oh my goodness. So you were right on. And then, yeah, and I don't know if it's possible or not. You helped me with my husband. I have just one more question. If it's even possible, if he comes through. And I told him to be here today.
Okay.
With you to tell you. So
all right. Well, I hope he was obedient. I hope in his life in his earth skin he was obedient. Let's see how that works out.
You know what? You know what is so funny, Marie? When you said my husband, I got a male energy coming forward, and he's holding up a red lollipop. You know those old-fashioned, I guess they still make lollipops.
Yeah.
And the little cellophane, and it had that red, cherry flavor. He's handing you a cherry-flavored yellow lollipop. Now, cherry, and it's interesting, our last caller was Jerry, but it could be a name like Barry or Gary, similar to that. Or there could be something about cherry or cherry lollipops, okay? But he is handing you that. And I remember when I was a kid and you went to the doctor or the dentist definitely, here, eat the sugar so you'll be back. But it's kind of like, when you're on the way out and they would give you the lollipop. So does that make sense to you in any way, Marie?
No, but unless the red color means something, maybe there's some significance to the color of red.
You're on the right track. See, first off, when I give private sessions, I do an orientation at the beginning, and I tell people to avoid going directly to no, because no is like slamming the door in the spirit's face. We want to keep it open. And you did the right thing. First you said no, but you said, but then maybe, because your interpretation is more important than mine. I'm just the conduit for the message. So when I say red, like the lollipop red, don't worry about how it applies just to your husband. What does that mean to you?
Right now I'm just thinking,
No. You're thinking, you're not feeling. You're thinking. Don't think, feel.
Yeah. Okay.
Beautiful red color.
Okay.
What do you feel?
Beautiful red color. Oh, I did see, at the beach, there was kind of a reddish color out in the distance. Maybe that.
No, you're thinking again. You're not feeling. See, See, Marie, you're in my raft technique, which I explain in my book, The Afterlife Frequency. Recognize, accept, feel, don't think, and then trust. You're think, and that's causing a block. Red, this could mean romantic love. this could mean passion, this could mean energy. Okay, and then there's the cherry flavor. See, you're getting so analytical, you're creating a block. So I want you to think, and not think, but I want you to feel. But we got a lot of other callers
Yeah.
that we need to get to, so I'm
Okay.
going to let
All
you
right.
go.
Can I
Yeah,
just,
let me ask you a
okay, all right.
question. No,
Can I
wait,
just,
wait,
can I
wait.
just
No,
say okay.
1 minute,
Just my
1 minute.
question was just my question was just if because I had him move some doors and bookcase, was that anything to do with his passing? That's all I want to know. If he can just tell me that, and I promise I'll be done.
He said no.
No.
And he
Well,
said it like
yeah.
that. He goes, no.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, you know what? We think that
Okay,
we
okay,
have
thank
so
you.
much. Listen, I got a question for you. Who's Roxanne?
Roxanne.
Who's
I just know
Roxanne?
that song. You know that song?
You
I
know,
don't know
sing
it,
the
but
song
I
for
know
me.
that
Sing
song,
it. Go ahead.
Roxanne.
Sing the song. Go ahead. Roxanne.
Oh, you don't want me to sing on here. Everybody will
No,
hang
but
up.
listen to
know?
me.
Oh, no,
But here's my question. Did he sing that song with you, Roxanne?
No, not that no.
So
Roxanne,
just you,
no.
not him.
She's doing the no
no.
syndrome
Yeah, she
again.
is.
Yeah, Marie.
So just
Marie,
go do me a
Okay.
favor. We got to run, but I got one
Yeah.
thing to tell you. I need
Okay.
you to go look in your closet and tell me what the red dress is. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Thanks.
Let's
And so,
take-
but everything's good, Mark, right? Okay, everything's good. No,
Everything
it wasn't my fault.
is-
Okay.
All right, I think the red, look, I'll just interpret it for you. He's handing you a red lollipop because this week was Valentine's Day, and that means he loves you, and your relationship was filled with deep emotional love and passion, and he's smiling, and when you said, oh, did he die because I had him move some stuff? He goes, no. So Marie, stop overthinking. Your
Thank
husband
you.
loved you in this
Thank
world,
you
he
very
loves you
much.
on the other side, and begin to feel and stop thinking so much. We'll
I
leave
need
that
you to
with
just send us a
Thank
picture
you
of the red
so
dress.
much.
Thank
All right.
you. Hey,
Thank you
let's,
so much, you guys.
You're
Take
welcome.
care. God bless.
I know
All right,
she's
God
got
bless.
I
Bye-bye.
know she has got a red dress in that closet. Brett, let's take a very, very short break and then we're going to go right back to the phones. Everybody, you're listening to The Psychic and the Doc. We'll be right back. Y'all should have been on break with us. Y'all should have been on the break with us because Mark and I were like picturing all the moments of red dresses. And you know, there's a great scene in the Matrix, the original Matrix movie. You'll never forget that red dress. Mark, before we start, how do people find out about you? How do they get a copy of all your books?
All my books. Visit my website, which is afterlifefrequency.com, which is just like my latest book, The Afterlife Frequency. And I got a lot of stuff coming up. And if you go to my website and you go to the calendar of events, you'll see what I've got coming up. I've got a number of online Zoom groups that I call Light Circles, limited to 6 people. So everybody gets a reading and you can get tickets for that. Next week, I'm going to be in Houston. So everybody in Texas and Houston, I look forward to seeing you. I'm going to be on Great Day Houston, the CBS KHOU morning talk show. And then I'll be at Body, Mind, and Soul in Houston for 2 nights of an evening of spirit communication, where I'll be doing what I do on this show, but in person, and unfortunately without Dr. Pat. And so there's a lot of things coming up. And also, I'm going to ask for everybody's vote. I've been nominated for 2 OMMIE, OMMIE awards. The Afterlife Frequency is up for Best Metaphysical Book of the Year, and I'm very humbled and honored by that. And then there's also, I was nominated for Best Medium, which, you know, I'm very, very honored. So you can find out about all of that at afterlifefrequency.com. And the thing is, Dr. Pat, I heard from Tony Sweet in Los Angeles, in Hollywood, and he said that The Psychic and the Doc has been nominated for, I think, 3 different Parapod awards. It's a podcast award. And technically, I mean, we are a podcast, but we're a live show. So Dr. Pat has done it again, and we're up for some awards. So this is an exciting year. And so I want to thank Dr. Pat for founding the Transformation Network and bringing all of this positive talk radio and live stream out to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, this is the 20th year for the Dr. Pat Show.
Wow.
Formerly known as Crust Busting. I am excited. Let us go, Brett. Bring them on.
All right, we have Susie from California. Hi there, Susie.
Hi, Susie. How are you? How can we help you?
Hi, darling. You guys are so cool.
Thank you.
You help so many of us. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, Susie. So
Thank
great to
you.
hear from you.
I just want to know if there's any messages. I feel
Okay.
like I'm on the right path and all that good
Okay.
stuff. So,
Oh, so
Okay,
you're in the calm.
Hold on, Susie. I got a female energy barging right on in. I mean, the doors are flying open. She's coming in, and I love her. She was an elderly woman. Definitely has kind of a grandmother look, but not a grandmother energy. Real energetic, feisty. And with her, getting this sense with her heart, a lot of plaque buildup, a lot of blockages in her heart, definitely cardiovascular issues. Now my low back is hurting. So she was having heart problems, issues in her low back in the L3, 4, 5 area, also with her hips. And the thing is, despite her heart slowing her down and the orthopedic and neurological strain toward the end, she seemed like she was still with it right up until she transitioned. And I'm also getting a sense of dehydration. What this indicates to me is that prior to passing, she must have probably not been eating or drinking. So she could have been very possibly under medical care or hospice. Does any of this make sense to you?
well, yeah, my mom had a lot going on. And
Okay.
she was real tiny.
Now,
She got
connected
very
to,
weak, but,
okay, connected to you or your mom, is there an Aggie, a Maggie, or an Agnes? It doesn't have to be her. It could be someone connected to you or her, because she's talking about it's either Aggie or Agnes.
I
Go
have
ahead.
everybody on the other side.
Right.
Could be
right. Go-
an aunt or a grandmother.
Okay, that may fit those names.
I have an Aunt Margaret.
Okay, would they have called her Maggie at all?
No.
All right.
No.
I want you to take that here. If we're doing a one-on-one reading, I'd have more time with you.
Yeah.
You're
Right,
no-no-knowing.
right.
Don't do the no thing. Write down
Right,
Aggie,
right.
Maggie, or Agnes, because that's going to make sense to you later on. Let me
Yeah.
get back to your
Okay.
mom. And what she
Cool.
said is, she said, you abound in the pearls of wisdom, and you have taken the baton. Listen to me. You've taken the baton that I had as the wise woman, and now you are the one who people seek for counsel. So this is very, very good what's going on in your life. And she's holding up in her hands a bunch of pearls. Now, pearls are the birthstone for the month of June. So because that's the birthstone. So this could be a birth, death, anniversary, or event, which may be connected to her or you or someone close to either of you within June. But because it's June, it could also be a name like Pearl, because of pearls, or a female J name connected to you or her, like a June, Jean, Jane, Jody, or Janet. But she's handing these pearls to you, unless you have some piece of jewelry of significance with pearls. Anything there?
Not at this time.
Oh, but there is. Okay, so go ahead, Dr. Pat.
I really appreciate it, but
No, that's
I
okay.
don't
I
know
gotta.
a lot of my ancestors.
No, you don't need to, because sometimes these clues, they're not immediately related. So the minute you say pearls, here's what I think about. I don't know where you live in. You're in California, right? I don't know where in
Yeah.
California, but are you close to the beach at all?
Northern, yeah.
But yeah, okay. So there are so many things you could think about. I only have one question. I'm going to let you go. Who's from Texas? Anybody?
Who's that?
Texas, the
What's that?
state of Texas.
Yeah, that's where my mother's side of the family's from. I was born
What
there.
do you think the football team in Texas is called?
The Cowboys.
No, not that team. The Aggies.
Oh, I don't follow it.
Mark,
Cool.
Mark,
I know the
come
Aggies.
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Look, yeah, I want you to
here's
go
the
look
thing.
that
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Go look that up
yeah.
because he's asking you about Aggies. I
Okay.
just asked you about
Cool.
Texas and found out like your peeps were born in the Texas.
Bingo.
The football, the football, Texas
Hey, I'll take what I
A&M.
can get.
But we can't help you with the relationship here, but there is one. So just get yourself on, just check out Texas A&M. I really think
Okay,
they're the
gotcha.
Aggies. Okay, thank you. Something about somebody in Texas. I am like sure of it.
Yeah, and it
Thank
very
you,
well could be
Susie.
a female J name. So, all right, well, so we'll leave that with you, and
The
thank
whole
you for calling
family's
in.
from Texas.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. I love this. Susie,
Well, you know, it's
gotta,
funny.
Susie got to call us back and tell us.
Right, because we get people that no. Then they call back in 3 weeks, like, oh my God, I got.
When the
And that
minute you
happened.
said Aggie, I'm like, oh, that's Texas.
Yeah, because Aggie, I mean, I was like,
That's
Agnes or
weird, Mark.
Aggie. I was hearing
That's like-
Aggie. Yeah.
I was like, where'd that come from, Mark? Okay, Brett, who do you
hold
have?
on. I
Oh.
want to say something real quick. This is
Okay.
one of the reasons that this show is so popular, is because I get this information, and Dr. Pat is just a master at interpretation. And I think it has a lot to do with her life experience, but also her work as a psychologist. And the genesis for the show happened when I was on the Dr. Pat show some years ago, and we had callers, and I'd give them information. The callers like, Dr. Pat came on and said, well, think of it like this. And the person said, well, that's it. And so that's why we decided to do this show. And that's why I always tell people, call in, because even if you don't understand what I'm conveying, it takes time for it to settle in and for you to understand it. And what's nice about Dr. Pat is she accelerates that process because he's an objective third party who's not emotionally involved with you or your loved ones, or, me trying to deal with the other side. So
That's right.
yeah.
That's
All
right.
right, Dr. Pat, back to you.
All right, let's go to the phones. But Susie, Aggies is AGG, right? Google it. Go ahead and Google them. AGGIE. Okay, Brett, who do you have?
All right, we have Felice from Massachusetts. Hi, Felice.
Hi, Felice. How are you?
Oh, hello. Hello. Lovely to be here. Mark, we met at the IANS conference.
Oh, super.
In September. Yo. And let's see. I hopped on at the conversation about the storm and the calm.
Calm and the storm, yeah.
I've experienced plenty of, and I guess I'm wondering if anyone's coming through. I've had two shared death experiences and one near-death experience, and I've never
Hold
really
on, Felice.
All right, yeah, let's get you some. Let's get you some info.
Right, don't start giving me information about yourself. Okay, you can do that afterwards, because I want to make sure it's not tainted. Anything that comes through, I'm getting a male energy connected to you, and he feels like he could be on your generational level. This could be a brother, a friend, significant other. And what I'm getting with this younger guy, he looks to me like he could have been, he was thin, lean, looked like he had a good tone, muscle tone to his body. Definitely had a like an olive or complexion or suntanned, kind of had brown, shorter hair. It looks like this guy was pretty athletic. And then with his passing, I'm getting this very abrupt sensation. Now, what I mean by an abrupt sensation, Felice, and I'm tasting a lot of blood, and that doesn't always mean a bleed out. This could be an internal hemorrhage, but when I get an impact sensation to my head, what this indicates is that this male died very unexpectedly or abruptly. And I have a feeling that he's on your generational level, but maybe somebody you knew some years back. Does this make any sense to you? I mean, I can see him clear as day. Let me get a message for you, because I want you to think about this. This is somebody that you knew either when you had just left high school or you were in college or college age. And what he's telling you is that you've gotten to the point in your life where you no longer feel like those people like in the circus, and they got those sticks with the plates on them, and they got all these plates spinning. He said for the longest time you felt that you were juggling and spinning so many different things, but you have now gotten to the point in your life where you are no longer doing that. And he said, you'll remember me when you think about the car accident. You were not part of the car accident, he was. So this is somebody that you knew in the car accident, and he is complimenting you on how you have gone from being very like overwhelmed by distractions to focusing this. And I'll leave that with you. Dr. Pat, what's your take?
I got a question. What's your relationship with you? This was going to be weird, so I have to rephrase that question. Do you listen to David Bowie? Do you know who David Bowie is? The singer?
Oh, of course I know who David Bowie is. Yes, I know who David Bowie is, and I know someone who toured with David Bowie.
Yes. So do you know who David Bowie toured with David Bowie, and see, it has something to do with this person that came through, Mark. Yeah. I can't tell you I'm not Mark, but when Mark was describing this person, all I kept seeing is David Bowie. And it's funny that you knew somebody that toured with David Bowie.
So
are
there
they
you
still
go.
around? Are they still with us? The people that were touring with the David?
Yes.
I'm just going to leave you with that.
She's still with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
I need you to think about that a little bit, because that is the weirdest thing. I know David Bowie's been trying to reach me. I'm still mad at him for, yeah. But I'll never forgive him for giving up Ziggy Stardust. Anyway, there's something to do with Bowie. I don't know what it is, but please let us know. I know you're going to get it. I know you're going to get it.
Yeah, this guy came through. I mean, I could see him clearly.
Yeah. He dressed like David. I think he dressed like Bowie, not young Bowie, older Bowie, like China Girl Bowie. Reinventing himself. David Bowie, here's the thing I want to leave you with. This is it. Bowie reinventing himself. So there's somebody in this cycle with you that is like Bowie in that way. Bowie was the masterfully talented, but the master of reinvention. So just, we'll leave you with that. But if it comes to you, tell us.
And I will for sure. And is this a person that, like, my brother had a few friends in high school, he was a few years younger than me, that died in car accidents, transitioned, went to the other
there
side.
We go.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of those.
And and this guy kind of looked like a lifeguard or surfer. He had that V-shaped trim body, and he was wearing like baggies. So you may want to think if your brother had a friend that would match that description. There could be like a Robbie or a Ronnie, something like that. So, but yeah, think about it, because it's really tough on a show where we've only got like 5 minutes. We got to go. It's like we're in a one-on-one. Think about it. And then it's like, oh yeah, that guy. We all expect it to be the person we wanted, and it doesn't always work that way. Somebody else, may come through first. But I really want to thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Keep listening.
Let us know if it comes up for you, because thank you so much. Oh my gosh. You know what? I've just heard Modern Love playing on the radio. It's so funny about the car accident. Brett, let's keep it going.
Sounds great. We have Mary Beth from Florida.
Hi, Mary Beth. Welcome to the show. Hey, how are you?
Good. I am about 60% through Mark's latest book, and I have signed up for a Light Circle in March. I want to establish an after. I want to establish, afterlife frequency connection, but having trouble because of the just extreme grief that's consuming me.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And first off, when people are in a profound state of grief, it creates a block. And so you're not doing anything wrong. It's just part of the natural grieving process. And that's why it's recommended to wait 4 to 6 months after the death to engage in spirit communication, because a lot of people, they want the contact right away, obviously, because you love you love the person who passed. And sometimes people go into a reading with a set agenda of I want what I want and who I want, and then that person doesn't come through because without meaning to, you're also creating a block. So don't beat yourself up if you're not getting the connections just yet, because in time, when your emotions stabilize, then you're going to start getting the connection. But that being said, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people that want to speak to you. Obviously, we don't have enough time for this, but there is a female energy coming through, and she has such a beautiful smile. I'm just getting this beautiful smile. She looks like she could have been around 40 when she passed. Her hair's parted in the middle, comes down to her shoulders. A very attractive woman. And she, with her, I'm feeling my head getting filled up with darkness. Now, when I say darkness, I don't mean like evil, that stuff. I think something was going on with her. Like it could have been brain cancer. It could have been some type of pressure buildup, fluid on the brain, or a aneurysm. That's what I mean by the darkness. And then I'm getting this exhausted sense. So it came on pretty rapidly, but it didn't take her right away. But it was still pretty quick. And the poor woman, she had, in conjunction with this, then she was having kidney failure, she was having bladder issues, she was having a lot of stuff, but it all started with this pressure buildup in the head. And what she wants you to know is she's showing me this little tiny merry-go-round. It's like a music box, and it's real sweet, and it's playing pretty music. And she said, merry-go-rounds. She said, that's not how life is. It isn't always just a circle with beautiful music. She said, there are bumps, there are bruises, there are derailments, and you are learning this now, but do not fear, for we, meaning your collective of spirits, will guide you and help you. And I'm going to leave that with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Are you able to take that all in? Are you able to take that in? Okay, good. Good.
Yep.
So I want you to pay
Thank you so much.
attention to the next 24 hours. And I don't know if you can have a pad or a pen with you, but I just want you to just be aware of the next 24, maybe 24 plus. And I want you to just be aware. And if you get what they call a fleeting thought, I want you to write it down. Don't ask where did it come from or who gave it to you or what does it mean. Just write it down. If you get 1, you write it down. If you get 100, you write them down.
Okay.
Got that?
Yeah, I think I may have had a couple little signs here and there, so I'll start writing everything down.
Yeah. It's really important to do it now, because what Mark just did is connected you to a whole lot of people. And my sense is you're just going to need a few minutes here. And once you give yourself a few minutes and to just be ready to take it in, I'm just going to be curious as to just write them down. Don't organize them. Don't even look at them until Sunday. Okay.
Okay.
And then you got to call in and tell us
All right.
what you found.
Okay.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah. Trust me.
All
You will
right.
find, you're
Thank
going to
you so
find
much.
something. You bet. Thank you. Wow. Yeah. She's going to get a bunch of things.
Yeah.
We have time for one more. I think.
Yeah, I think
Let's
we
take
do. Yeah.
one of our
do it.
fabulous audience, the best audience on the planet right here. Brett, we do have time for one more caller.
Sounds great. We have Laura from South Carolina.
Hey, Laura, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for taking my call.
You betcha. That's where my
Can you hear me?
mama's. Yeah, loud and clear. 10-4, good
Okay.
buddy. All right. How can we help you?
Two quick questions. One, I'm looking for my brooch. And the second one is how my dad's health is doing.
Okay, let's see what comes through.
Okay. Is your mother in spirit?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Hold on. Who's Elizabeth?
My
This-
mother's.
Okay.
Your
All
mother's
right.
Elizabeth?
Yes,
Did you just say
ma'am.
your mother?
Yeah. Her mother's Elizabeth. All right, Elizabeth's here. Okay. She said,
Oh my
stop
gosh.
worrying about the brooch. She said, stop worrying about the brooch. She said, it is precious to you, but it is only a material object, and that is a painful lesson we must all learn. She said, just don't worry about it. She said she doesn't want you to feel shame or guilt or a sense of loss. She said that this object has a habit of moving from one person to the next, and that's what it does. Now, with your father's health, it seems like recently he's taken a turn for the more, I hate to use the word severe, but I'm getting this fluid buildup in his chest. Now, that just could be allergies, that could be a phlegm buildup, but she is talking about that. But she said the one thing I always loved about him is he's a tough old guy. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
So I get the sense that your dad's having some rough times, like there's been a change, but he's not going anywhere right away. Okay, but what she wants you to do is, she said, just make sure you shower him with love. She said, because the brooch, while you regret the misplacement of the brooch, she said, that doesn't matter. Your father knowing you love him does matter. Dr. Pat?
It's in a corner.
Yay.
It's in the brooch is in a corner somewhere. That's what I get. There's when you were talking
Good, 'cause
about it, I thought about two things. This is going to sound odd, but just ignore me. I thought roaches love corners. So I'm not going to call you out on the show, but if you were to look in my drawers, unlike my best friend Linda, you would not see everything folded so neatly. You got it? So anything could be high. So you're like me, right? Just say it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say it.
I thought I flushed it down the toilet.
Okay, that I didn't get that feeling, and man,
Well, roaches get flushed down the
flushed-
toilet a lot in my house.
No, the sensation I got about it is it needed a rest. It needed a rest. I don't know why it needed a rest.
Okay.
But it needed a rest. It needed, like, I mean, if I can't, oh my God, this is horrible. If you were to go in my t-shirt drawer, you'd probably spend a week trying to find it in there, but it would be in there. Okay, you got it.
Okay, thanks, guys.
I know, like, you know what I'm talking about. It's attached to something. And you may have to fold everything in your drawers to find
You know,
I believe it.
you know, Catholics, we always ask Saint Anthony when something's lost. And a friend of mine who's a priest,
Oh, I know.
my family always said, Saint Anthony, help us find it. And he said, no, here's how you do it. Tony, turn around. Something is lost that must be found.
That is so Linda's family. And that works. I mean, try it.
It does
Try
work. It does work.
Works. Thank you for.
Told me the bedroom,
That's what I'm trying to say.
but it didn't tell me where.
I'm telling you. You
yeah,
know
you're right, Dr. Pat.
I'm telling you, I
Nope,
know
you're
if I
both
go
right.
in your bedroom, in your dressers, I know you're going to find like the same thing in mine. Okay. But you got to look
Too funny.
carefully.
And thank you about my dad.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you about my dad.
Well, thank your
you.
mom
All right, bye, guys.
for being.
Thank your mom.
Yes.
Thank you. Wow.
All right, thank you so much.
Wow, what a great show. Thank you all for calling in. And look, we will make sure sorry we couldn't get to everybody today, but we've got something planned. I want to thank all of you for calling in. Stacy, Janine, Faith, thank you. Please call back. If you call back next time, you guys, Stacy, Janine, and Faith, Brett will have your names, and we'll make sure we'll do our best to get you in at the top of our next call-in show. Mark, what a great show. What do you think?
I think this is fantastic, and I want to thank Dr. Pat and Transformation Network and everybody for helping out, and especially our audience. You guys,
Yeah.
thank you so very much for tuning in and calling in. God bless all of you.
Thank you all, Brett. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jacob. And thanks to all of you for being the best audience on the planet. We'll see y'all next time.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning into The Psychic in the Doc with Mark Anthony and me, Dr. Pat Baccili, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Hey, look, come back next week so we can explore with you more of life's many challenges and learn from fascinating guests. And you know what? Even Mark and me. We'll connect you and discover insights from people in this life and from the afterlife. Extraordinary problems? Yeah, they do. They require extraordinary solutions. But step into the world of possibilities with us on The Psychic and the Doc. That's every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on TransformationTalkRadio.com. That's TransformationTalkRadio.com. And don't forget, we're also live face-to-face on Facebook.com, Transformation Talk Radio.